equivalent EQ. So by moment equivalent we have found our diameter, by torque equivalent we have found a diameter, and whichever is the maximum, that value we have selected for the diameter here, and we got this. So now the lever is designed and we have found out all the sizes which were asked there. Okay, so this is the way we are handling a problem of this kind, where especially this part of the lever was experiencing bending and torsion, and to some extent even the design of this pin also was slightly different. And what we have done is as such not new, but then what you have to see here is that there cannot be a standard equation which can be applied all the time everywhere. Depending on the shape, size and the design, we have to make changes in the equation and form a proper equation, keeping in mind the basic rules. That means say some such rules are already there, we are not going away from that. So stress equal to load upon area, etc., those rules are still there. Using those rules and applying those rules, applying those formulae in a given situation, we will be able to find out the sizes or the dimensions. Okay, so now having seen the design aspects of the lever, how these different types of levers are to be designed by applying the usual principles. Now let's see one small theory topic which is talking about different methods of preventing certain kind of stresses. So let's first see methods for preventing crushing stress Okay, this we have seen last time, that a part of a lever is drawn and there is a pinhole here, and because of this pinhole, the diameter of pinhole is dp. Because of this pinhole, what is going to happen is at this place, the inside surface of the pinhole, there are going to be crushing stresses. Now we write the equation for crushing stress saying that F crushing design is equal to load, whatever is the load. Suppose there is a load here P. So you can say that P is the load, and then we say that the resisting area is diameter of pin into thickness, okay, which we have seen last time. And then if this is the induced stress, then we say that this should be less than the design stress. If it is so, then the sizes are correct. But suppose it is not so, that means if the stress is more than the design, then we have to bring it down. So how this will be brought down than the crushing design stress? That is by increasing the denominator. So how do you increase the denominator? Either you can increase the diameter of the pin or you can increase the thickness. So suppose it is failing in bearing stress, then you might think of increasing the diameter to a higher size. But the moment you increase the diameter, suppose I increase the diameter, now what happens? The remaining surface is less. So although this will become safe here because the diameter is increased, but now it will fail in bending, because now the revised cross section, earlier the cross section was like this, and now the cross section has become so. If you increase the dp, your cross section will be different. So I'll write here, if dp is increased, then it will fail in bending. It may fail in bending if the dp is increased. So the best way is to increase T and make it safe. Now when you increase T, what will happen? Suppose I increase T all over. If the T is increased all over, there will be unnecessarily increase in weight. What we are interested in is this surface. So any thickness here is unnecessary. So now what is done is the thickness is increased, but that is increased only in this much part. So what you will see here is, sometimes you must have seen also, that here this is a raised surface. So the thickness is increased indeed, like this. This is T1. So you wanted to increase the thickness, so that is increased to T1, but rest of the place it is still kept same as before. So that there is no unnecessary increase in the thickness in the rest of the place. Only where required you have provided more surface, so that the crushing stress has come within the limit. So to increase the T is a solution to make the joint safe for bearing stresses. So the method for preventing the crushing stress is by increasing the thickness like this, which you can see at certain places like this. Okay. Methods of preventing the bending stresses from increasing beyond the design values. How do you prevent it from increasing beyond the values? Like how we have seen preventing the crushing stresses from increasing beyond the values. Now how do you do here? That is the next thing. So maybe I'll draw a similar figure again here. So the lever at this place, let's say there is a bending stress which is exceeding and we want to improve. FT bending induced is equal to M by Z. And this should be less than design. So now the induced bending stress here we want to be less than the design, and suppose it is more, then you have to bring it down, so make it less, so that which will be done by increasing the denominator, by increasing T or by increasing B. So by increasing T also like this, you can increase the moment to some extent. You can increase the Z to some extent and reduce the stress to some extent. But the better way out is to increase the B instead of T. And how do you increase B is by making some changes. So I'll just show the changes here. So this diameter is still the same, but this B which was there, which is still here B, and here it is changed to some higher value B dash. So only where it is required, the size is changed, so that the section modulus will be now more and the induced bending stress will be less than the design stress. So maybe earlier it was like this. B, and now it is more. So Z is more this time, and as a result it will be safe in the bending. Okay, so method of preventing bending stress is by changing the size B, whereas by changing T it may not make a big difference, and it will be again some unnecessary, but it can also happen. You can even try that also. Depending on whichever is easier way, it can be done. Then the next point is reduction in the weight of lever. How can you reduce the weight of lever without affecting its strength? Okay, that means the induced stresses, we are not going to allow it to cross the design limit. We want them to be below the design limit, so that everything is safe, but still the weight is less. So how can you reduce the weight and still get the same effect? So one example is, suppose this is the lever Now this lever you can see is same as what we have designed. There was one lever loaded safety valve we have thought of. That time also there was a lever which has got a width B, and then maybe we have made some changes here if required, and then at 3 places there was some load, effort and fulcrum. So that time whatever we have done, what way we can reduce the weight is like this. One is by making the shape that means where the moment is maximum, the width is more, and at the two ends the width is less, because as you know moment is 0 here and is maximum here. So according to that we can keep the width maximum here and reduce here, so that there could be some reduction in weight. That means here we are just removing this material and reducing the weight. Okay, or the other way could be you can do this, plus you can even remove material from here. So this is a cutout. So cutouts are made here. The material is removed from here. Near the neutral axis, the material is removed, because as you know, at the neutral axis the stresses are very less, maybe 0 also. So at this place we have removed the material and reduced the weight. So if this is to be made in quantity, large quantity, then this reduction in weight will make a big difference. So this way it is done, the reduction in weight either by tapering or by removing the material near the neutral axis. You can reduce the weight and get still the same result. Okay, so we have seen some of the things, how the lever's performance can be improved, how the design can be further improved without much loss anywhere else. Okay, so please keep this information in mind as an additional information in the form of some short notes. Okay.